Hello, EO Detroit. Dan Glisky here, your EO Member Engagement Chair for 2025. And I'm excited to announce today the inductees for the EO Detroit Entrepreneur Hall of Fame for this year's class. You know, in 2026, EO Detroit is going to be celebrating 30 years as an organization. And we've had so many incredible entrepreneurs that have built this chapter, have been within the entrepreneurial community here in Detroit, and have been fantastic ambassadors for entrepreneurs in our region. So when I got back on the EO Detroit board, which by the way, I recommend everybody to get on the EO Detroit board, at least for 2 or 3 years. It's a fantastic experience. And you'll see from our Hall of Fame members, they were all on the board. I mean, so many great people give back to our organization. So please consider getting on the board. But when I took over as member engagement chair, and I realized so many great entrepreneurs were coming into our organization, but they have no sense of history of what our chapter is all about, nor do they know some of these great individuals who have been part of EO's history. So we created the Entrepreneur Hall of Fame to recognize the best of the best within the EO Detroit community, and to give that sense of place and that connection between these current EO members that are coming into the chapter, which are our future, and to give them a sense of our past. And so I'm excited to announce the inductees for 2025. We have 2, Darton Case and Ram LaPointe. Now, included in this email is the applications for Darton Case and Ram LaPointe. Please read through those at your leisure and get to know these 2 individuals. They're exceptional. But I'm going to give you the crib notes version of who these 2 Hall of Fame winners are, and give you the synopsis. So Darton Case. Darton Case was one of the very first people that I met when I came into the organization in 2000. And we met at the Rathskeller with Darton and his wife Heather, and it was an EO Detroit event. And I quickly realized that this is an organization that I wanted to be a part of. The energy, the people, the quality, the fun. And I watched Darton over the 10 years, my initial 10 years in the organization, watched Darton build his business, which was a successful business, but he was ahead of his time in many, many ways. And he, through tenacity, through perseverance, he grew it. He got it to about $10 million a year in business. It was a good business, but he knew it was so much more. And it was frustrating for him. And then because he stayed in the game, because he worked hard at it, because he had some fortuitous events that he saw coming, his business parabolic and went to a $60 million a year business over time. And Darton persevered through that growth, which is not easy to do, and to continue to grow that business. And he was very successful as an entrepreneur, and watching him was just a pure pleasure to watch him grow that business. He was within the EO sphere for 22 years. He was chapter president here in local EO Detroit, and then he was on the global board. He was on the global board for 5 years, including a 1 year as global president, representing not only EO Detroit as our global president, but all entrepreneurs all over the world. And during his tenure, both the Accelerator program and the Global Student Entrepreneur Award programs were developed and launched. Those 2 programs are legacy programs for EO today. And I think they're what sets EO apart around the world as the best entrepreneur organization going. So Darton, his legacy was not only his business career, but also in supporting EO and helping to create something that's very enduring. Ram LaPointe is our second inductee. Like many of us, Ram started his career in big business, and in Ram's case, it was Ford Motor Company. And after Ram left Ford Motor Company, he quickly launched and then exited 3 businesses. And then in 2006, Ram found EO Detroit, joined EO, and over 18 years within EO, Ram achieved 3 additional successful exits, 3 challenging failures, and the launch of his own global consulting business. Ram, as you can imagine, through all of that, achieved many, many personal successes, endured some very challenging failures, including some personal ones that included a genetic disease that took his grandfather and took his father and ultimately stole his own kidneys. And in 2023, Ram received a new kidney and saved his life. Ram served on the local EO Detroit board as both finance chair as well as chapter president. He served on the Central Region leadership team, and he currently serves on EO's global board. Now, both Ram and Darton were nominated by the Hall of Fame committee, which included April Clark, Matt Farrell, John Anderson, Mark Winters, and myself. And they, along with two other exceptional candidates, were presented to the EO Detroit board for certification and for decision on who to induct into the Hall of Fame. They were chosen by the local EO Detroit board, and we're sending their nominations out to the chapter for ratification. The challenges of entrepreneurship and life, for that matter, are many, and I know that both Ram as well as Darton will tell you that their time within EO allowed them to meet every single challenge, both every single success, with grace, with vulnerability, with resolve, and they're two exceptional human beings, and I look forward to recognizing